door, and yes, once again, you can drink food and drink on shrimp.
So yes, folks, as you come on down, we do have the express entrance. It's going to be the first entrance on your left-hand side, right through the studio tour archway. General admission will be a little bit farther down. Just look for the sign that says enter here, and you're good to go for general admission. Welcome, everybody, welcome. This is the world-famous Universal Studios tour. King Kong, Jaws, and Fast and the Furious are all part of the tour, and they're waiting for you. Now, if anybody is a fan of one of my favorite Christmas movies that did recently celebrate its 39th anniversary, The Gremlins. Yes, part of that was filmed on our very own backlot, everybody, directed by Joe Dante, and you're in for a treat. All I'm going to say, have those cameras available. That's right, everybody, come on down. Also, another filming location that's on our backlot. If you're a fan of Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, also part of that movie was filmed right here on our very own backlot. Come on down, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Remain seated and do not exit the tram on your own for any reason. Wait for your guide to provide assistance. We can't emphasize strongly enough how important this is. Remain seated and inside the tram at all times while on the tour. We appreciate your cooperation. Thanks so much and enjoy your visit to the world-famous Universal Studios tour.
Line up with the first car.
How many? 2? 5? 2?
You see one of them, pictures or video that prove that it's all in here in the studio tour. Speaking of which, just about a week ago, Dwayne Johnson, the rock, stopped a couple. Oh, now I got a lot of people in there. I had to forget who it was. All right.
No, Grinch. I can't tell. Yeah, there's a line over there. Looking at the Grinch picture over there.
Watching The Voice, they use sounds like 30, 31, 32, and 33. And like in the family of voice, you know that it's coming down. Will Huntley be able to win? I don't know. We'll have to check that out. So, okay, cool. We got our thumbs up. Please no selfie sticks while you're on board, though. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Over here on your left-hand side.
guide for today as we lift the veil of secrecy on some of Hollywood's hottest filming locations. Now before we take off, I want to make sure everyone has a pair of 3D glasses. You're going to need them a couple times during the tour. If for whatever reason you forgot to pick up a pair of 3D glasses, don't be embarrassed. Just raise your hands up high into the air, wave them around like you just need a pair of 3D glasses. Oh no, looks like Car 2 needs some 3D glasses. If I could get someone to grab some 3D glasses for Car 2. All those people need 3D glasses, unfortunately. All right, have those hands up. We'll get someone to grab those 3D glasses for you. Now, if you're traveling with small children, or maybe dads who act like small children, try to place them towards the center of the row and away from these outside gates, so we don't want any dads falling out today. Now, in all seriousness, if you're traveling with kiddos whose feet don't quite touch the floor of the tram just yet, move them towards the center, because that's where they'll be the safest. Now, is it anyone's first time here at the studio tour? First time here at Universal Studios Hollywood? Awesome, welcome. We're going to spend the next 3 hours together, so I hope you're ready. I'm just kidding. No, it's not 3 hours. I promise, I promise. It's just going to feel like 3 hours for me, so you'll be okay. But it looks like we're going to take off in just a little bit, folks. Last call for 3D glasses. This is the only place you can get them is right here in our loading area. But it looks like we are taking off. Now, of course, I cannot drive this thing. I'm not allowed to anymore because of that one time. We do have a driver for today. His name's John, everybody. Give it up for John. He's going to be taking us around the lot, which is awesome because we have about 400 acres of studio land we're going to explore together. Now, you met me, you've met our driver, but there's one more person I want to introduce you to, and that is my very special co-host for today. You might recognize him from shows like That's My Jam. He's also the current host of The Tonight Show. It's Jimmy Fallon, everybody.
Oh, hey there. You made it. Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide.
Sarah.
And the greatest driver.
It's John.
They're the best. I love them. Even though
Sarah
owes me $5. I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
Thanks, Jimmy. That's right. I do have a few safety rules to go over. First, if you need guest assistance or have a medical emergency, or if you drop something of value off the side of the tram, or have any sound or video issues, feel free to reach out and grab the red E cord that runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram, and I'll be back there to assist you as soon as it is safe to do so. Otherwise, throughout the entire tour, please remain seated with your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times, and remember to pull that red cord above your head if you need any assistance. The studio is private property, so if at any time during the tour you drop your phone or you just can't wait to use the restroom, the best way to get a hold of me in car 1 is through that red emergency cord. There's no smoking of any kind throughout the tour, and be prepared. Our tour today features loud noises, sudden tram movements, fire effects, and many water effects. You're going to want to have those cameras out for great photo opportunities, but keep an eye on them so they don't get wet. And lastly, for your safety and those around you, please do not use selfie sticks while you're on board the tram. So we are officially leaving the theme park behind us now, and we're headed into one of the world's largest and busiest film and television studios. As we make our way down the Universal timeline, take a look on either side of the vehicle. You're going to notice some movie posters. Now, these movie posters represent just a few of the thousands of movies we've made here over the years. Universal Studios is in its 2nd century of filmmaking, so we've been making movies here for over 100 years, if you can believe it. And it all started with a man named Carl Laemmle. So Carl Laemmle is our founder. There he is up on your screens. He's the fellow with the bow tie. Now, when he first opened up Universal Studios back on this site on March 15th of 1915, he had a big dream, and that was to create an entire city dedicated to the movie making process. Well, his dream has become a reality. Universal Studios is its own city. We're Universal City. We have our own zip code. We even have our own fire department. In fact, coming up on our right-hand side, you're going to see our fire station. Now, this isn't a set. This is a real working fire station that services Universal City. Now, one thing our city is missing, though, that most cities have, is a population. We don't have residents that actually live here. Our residents are our sound stages, and inside of these sound stages are where we film some of the most iconic movies in cinema history. Take a look. What's incredible about about all these movie moments is that they were filmed in the same location, and that's actually Soundstage 12. It's coming up on our left-hand side. Soundstage 12 is not only the largest soundstage on our lot, but it's also the oldest. It was built back in 1929 for a film called Broadway. But take a look up at your screens. This is what a soundstage looks like once all the set's been cleared out. Kind of looks like a giant empty warehouse. That's essentially what these sound stages are, except they're about 98% soundproof. The walls of a soundstage are about 3 to 4 times thicker than your average building, which is a good thing because some of the sound stages that we house in our front lot are mere steps away from our actual theme park. In fact, coming up on our right-hand side, you're going to see the back of Super Nintendo World, the newest addition to Universal Studios Hollywood. But just after these are the sound stages that they've been using for the show Bel Air, the Fresh Prince of Bel Air reboot, currently streaming on Peacock. And here to tell us a little bit more about the show are its stars, Jabari Banks and Ali Sholatan.
Could you just grab me a water when you can? So what it is, you put egg on the cheese. You put cheese on the eggs or on the cheese? That's right. Whoa, how many seats do you think are in there? I don't know, it's gotta be a lot. Man, we could probably fit the whole Bel Air cast and crew in there. No, we gotta get one of these for the mansion. And for sure. You're lucky for y'all. The Banks family mansion lives right here on the Universal lot. Right. Some of Bel Air's most pivotal scenes have been filmed right here. Jabari, what have been your most memorable moments? There's so many to choose from. You know, I love the for yourself when Will first enters, and at that moment, his life changes forever. What about you? Well, the Bel Air Academy gym set is here too, and I remember you having to sit in that cold ice bath for hours. Yeah. And that was really cool. I can't feel my toes.
Now, Jabari and Ali filmed this segment in front of Soundstage 14, which you'll be able to see on our left-hand side. Soundstage 14 is our second largest soundstage. This is where Ron Howard built Mission Control for his film Apollo 13, starring Tom Hanks and Kevin Bacon. And that's just because the real Mission Control is a little bit too small to actually film inside of with all of our camera equipment and crew. Now, one of my favorite scenes in the movie Jurassic Park also utilizes this big soundstage. If anyone remembers when Lexi gets sneezed on by that Brachiosaurus, that iconic moment was also filmed right inside of Soundstage 14. But we don't just film blockbuster movies and hit TV shows inside of these sound stages. We can even film game shows. If anyone's a big fan of Hollywood Game Night, hosted by Jane Lynch from Glee, they said they filmed inside of Jane Lynch's living room. I don't know how many living rooms have been to that have a live studio audience inside of them. They actually used one of the sound stages coming up on our right-hand side. But this area of our lot is called Sitcom Alley. We call this area that because a lot of the smaller stages on our right-hand side have been used for some of your favorite sitcoms throughout the year. Shows like Who's the Boss, Different Strokes, Silver Spoons, and even Sabrina the Teenage Witch, starring Melissa Joan Hart. Now, some of the more recent shows that utilize these stages include Good Girls on NBC, starring Christina Hendricks, Mae Whitman, and Retta, as well as Never Have I Ever on Netflix, created by Mindy Kaling from The Office. In fact, when they were filming Never Have I Ever inside of the stages, see this parking lot on our left-hand side where they're building that set? This used to be filled with their trailers. Now, trailers in Hollywood are used as dressing rooms for the actors. This is where they get into hair, makeup, and costume before they start filming for the day. But back in the earlier years of our studio, we didn't have movable white trailers. We actually had physical dressing rooms, and you'll see some of those on our left-hand side. These brown beige bungalows were dressing rooms for stars like Doris Day, Rock Hudson, Jimmy Stewart, and even Lucille Ball. Nowadays, they've been converted into production offices for some of Hollywood's top writers, producers, and directors. In fact, we're coming up on Kevin Williamson's office on our left-hand side. You might recognize that name. He's the creator of The Vampire Diaries on CW. He also created Dawson's Creek, as well as the first Scream movie. He was the writer for that film. Now, next to Kevin Williamson's office used to be Monkey Paw Productions. That's Jordan Peele's production company. They brought us movies like Get Out, Us, and Nope. And speaking of Nope, we'll be checking out some of those sets towards the end of our tour. Another notable person that has their office among these bungalows is Mark Platt. He's a producer. He produced films like La La Land, Mary Poppins Returns, and Dear Evan Hansen. But he's currently working on a big screen adaptation of the Tony Award-winning musical Wicked, and that's set to star Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. And the movie's going to be so massive, they're actually splitting it up into 2 parts, and the first part lands in the theaters December of 2024. Some of our newer sound stages are also on our left-hand side. These are sound stages 25 and 26. Now, currently they're being used for the new George Lopez sitcom, Lopez vs. Lopez, where he stars alongside his real-life daughter, Maya Lopez. In fact, check out some of the parking spaces. You'll see they're reserved for that production. But these were actually built back in 2016 for NBC's Hairspray Live, starring Maddie Ballio, Jennifer Hudson, and Martin Short. Since then, they've been used for shows like America's Got Talent, World of Dance with Jennifer Lopez, sitcoms like Kenan, starring Kenan Thompson and Chris Redd from Saturday Night Live, as well as a reboot of Will and Grace with Deborah Messing, Eric McCormick, Megan Mullally, and Sean Hayes. In fact, one of the new reboot episodes, they actually featured the world-famous studio tour, which is pretty incredible. But right now we are making the transition from our front lot with all those sound stages and production offices, and we're headed into our world famous back lot. Our back lot is where we keep our large exterior sets. The area that we're headed into right now is called our metro sets. Our metro sets can double as any major metropolitan area in the world. For example, we're coming up on Brownstone Street on the right-hand side. It's been featured in films like Home Alone 2, Lost in New York with Macaulay Culkin. You may remember Macaulay Culkin dropping bricks on Joe Pesci's head from The Third Story. It's also where they filmed this scene from Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey and Jennifer Aniston.
Grace the dog!
I'm in the shower!
Inside bad, outside good. Inside bad, outside good. Oh, you're done now.
Another part of our metro sets is our courthouse square, recently featured in Rutherford Falls on Peacock, starring Ed Helms and Janice Beatty. But for those of you who are fans of Back to the Future, this area might look slightly familiar, and that's because it's the fictional town of Hill Valley, California. A lot of you are thinking, you're looking at your screens, you're looking at that building exactly like the clock tower from Back to the Future. Well, that's because it became so iconic and recognizable. Filmmakers built that red brick facade all around it. Just for that future projects, this area didn't look so much like the town from the Back to the Future franchise. But the original columns of the clock tower are just behind the brick facade. In fact, the doors are kind of open today. Try to get a peek in between those open doors. You may even get a glimpse of those original gray columns that you're seeing up on your screens. Now, what is a facade? A facade is just the front and the sides of a building. A lot of the structures that you're seeing on our tour today are exactly that. Now, I know the buildings look like they're made out of brick and stone and cement, but they're actually made out of materials like fiberglass, plywood, plaster, and even plastic. But let's say you need a big city scene, not just a small town square like this. Well, we have our very own New York Street, but I'm going to hand things over to my co-host Jimmy for a little bit. After all, he's more familiar with the Big Apple than I am, because that's where he films The Tonight Show.
Hey everyone, welcome to New York. I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighborhood. Once got mugged over there by an old woman, tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. Hey, I'm walking here. Hey, it's cool guys. I was just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
Speaking of making it, anytime American Ninja Warrior has their qualifying episodes here in Los Angeles, they'll make the obstacle course up and down our New York Street. Now, our New York Street was recently featured in a couple of K-pop music videos. If anyone's a fan of BTS, Jungkook filmed his music video for his song 7, featuring Lotto on the street, as well as Jisoo. She's from Blackpink. She has a song called Flower, and that music video was also filmed out here as well. They also filmed a lot of superhero movies out on our Metro sets. Take a look on the left-hand side. See this little theater on the corner? That's the Lyric Theater that was featured in Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst. You may remember the scene where Peter Parker arrives just a little too late to see Mary Jane show. Everyone's already leaving. That was filmed right there on that very corner. Now, what's interesting about that scene is it looks like hundreds of theater patrons are leaving the show, but in actuality, it was the same 30 background actors. When they were filming Spider-Man 2, they had a costume person set up just on the sidewalk, and anytime a background actor would leave, they would just grab a new jacket, put on a new hat and scarf, go right behind the facade, and exit again, making it look like a never-ending flow of people were leaving the show. This is a trick we do with cars. Anytime we see a busy street scene in the background of a movie or TV show, it's usually about the same 10, 15 cars driving around in a big circle. Another superhero movie that utilized this area for production is Marvel's Captain America: The First Avenger with Chris Evans. You may remember the scene where he turns into Captain America. He's chasing after a Hydra agent through the streets of New York. He's jumping from cab to cab. That was also up and down our New York Street. And not to worry, Chris Evans never had to run around barefoot on this concrete. They actually designed sneakers for him to wear that look like his bare feet. So good for him. But one of the reasons why filmmakers like to use our backlot instead of going to a real city is that everything that you're seeing around us is essentially designed for filmmaking. In fact, take a look down at the sidewalks on either side of the tram. You're going to notice that there are these brown and gray squares with like a hole on them every 5 feet or so. Now, if you lift up the metal panels on top, there are power outlets under there. So filmmakers can plug in lighting equipment, camera equipment. They can even charge their phone if they really needed to. The street lights that you're seeing up and down the street, they're essentially like giant floor lamps. They're just sitting on top of those brown and gray squares and being plugged in from underneath. What people don't realize is whenever we film on location, like in a real real city like downtown Los Angeles, we as a studio, we have to bring generators with us. We have to feed the cords through busy streets. We have to hire security so nobody walks in our shot. It's a lot easier and safer to do all that on our back lot instead. Now, speaking of safety, that's another great reason why filmmakers like to utilize these sets. It's a lot safer to do big stunts out here. If anyone's a big fan of the Fast and the Furious franchise, you may remember the spin-off Hobbs and Shaw with Jason Statham and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. The majority of that movie was filmed in Europe, but there's one big chase sequence that they utilized our Metropolitan sets for. They transformed a lot of the facades to look like downtown London for that sequence. This area was also where they did a big stunt for the Blues Brothers, directed by John Landis. Take a look.
When the Pinto fell and you saw it land and make this big hole in the street, that was on the back lot. We dropped it from a crane. You dig like that in Chicago, not a good idea.
Well, we're going to leave the concrete jungles of our Metro sets behind now. We're going to head into the jungles of Skull Island. And here to introduce King Kong 360 3D is Academy Award-winning filmmaker Peter Jackson.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. Action! I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up in adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island, and it's great to have you along. Now, we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island. We really put a lot of thought into the character and personality of Kong, and he's so much more than a monster. In fact, he's not a monster. He is an incredibly majestic, ancient creature. He's a force of nature. He's old, he's wise, he's proud, he's fierce, and obviously he has a heart. The most important feature with Kong are his eyes. Kong's eyes are wonderfully expressive. They're full of emotion. His eyes are like a window into his personality and his heart. He's had an enormous number of encounters with his foes, the T-Rexes and the various dinosaurs on Skull Island, so he's been beaten up, scarred, chewed up, spat out by these dinosaurs at various times, and he wears the scars of a lot of ancient battles.
All right, folks, we're heading inside. A reminder to remain seated at all times with your arms and legs inside the vehicle. Secure any loose belongings, and please, no flash photography. to those 3D glasses. You're gonna need them one more time during the tour. I'll let you know when you need to put those 3D glasses back on. Did anyone get wet? Yeah, I forgot to warn you, if you're sitting in a blue seat, you might get wet today. Oh, they're all blue. I'm sorry, you don't have to look around. It's just a bit of dry humor for you. Now, that epic battle you just witnessed is projected on some of the world's largest 3D digital screens. Those screens are over 40 feet tall and 180 feet long, and brought to you by the design team at Weta Effects. Now, Weta is one of the leading companies in CGI and visual effects. They won 6 Academy Awards, and they've worked on projects like Disney's The Jungle Book, James Cameron's Avatar, The Lord of the Rings trilogy, Deadpool, Wonder Woman, and even the last couple of seasons of Game of Thrones on HBO. But here's the team at Weta to tell you a little bit more about our attraction, King Kong 360 3D.
With a project like the studio tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions. There's creatures coming at them. They're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side.
Working on a movie, we always know where the people are looking. They're looking straight ahead. They're looking at the shot that we're working on.
Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts because it's one giant shot. This tram that's driving along through Skull Island is where the camera's from. This ring represents where the screen is 10 meters away.
We're really creating about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience, it's a hell of a ride.
Now, some of you may have even noticed our tram made a little cameo in the attraction. A dinosaur pulled one of our cars onto the big screen. Did you happen to notice that there were guests sitting in that car? All those guests are the people from Weta Effects. They actually put themselves in the ride as a fun little Easter egg for everybody. But anytime you see a vehicle on screen, whether it's our tram, a taxi cab, maybe even a DeLorean, it's what we refer to in the movie business as a picture card. We're going to take you through our picture card collection in just a few moments, so have those cameras ready, especially if you're a big fan of vehicles, because some of the cars you're about to see are just as famous as the actors who drove them.
Look out!
So first in our lineup, we have the Ford Deuce Coupe from American Graffiti, directed by George Lucas. And there's Tom Selleck's Ferrari from Magnum P.I. We have some futuristic vehicles from Back to the Future, as well as some prehistoric cars from the Flintstones. Now, these Flintstones vehicles are just modified golf carts with fiberglass shells on top, so they can actually go up to 45 miles per hour. We have the Ford Anglia from Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. They built 17.5 versions of that car for the film. And for all you Jurassic World fans, you're going to see the gyrosphere for the first 2 films. Now, for those of you who've seen the movies, you're probably wondering what happened to the glass. Well, there wasn't any glass to begin with. Filmmakers used CGI to create that in post-production, and that's just because anytime you put glass in front of the camera, you're going to catch the reflection of the camera. The tank that you saw from Transformers, you probably don't want to drive that into battle. It's made out of plywood. It's just painted to look like metal. In fact, a lot of the vehicles that you see on screen nowadays are made with lightweight materials like fiberglass and plywood for a couple different reasons, but most importantly, it's because it's a lot easier and lighter to transport that way. And that's pretty important when you have to go somewhere and film on location. Now, the term on location just means anywhere outside of the studio. And here's a great example of a Universal movie that's no stranger to filming on location.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
That's right, although they did utilize a few of our sound stages up in our front lot, they did film the majority of the first 3 Jurassic Park films on location on the islands of Hawaii. But not to worry, we don't have to travel that far to check out some of the props, set pieces, and picture cars that we have in the first 3 Jurassic Park films. On our left-hand side, this is the mobile lab unit that hung precariously off of a cliff in the Lost World Jurassic Park, starring Jeff Goldblum and Julianne Moore. We also do keep dinosaurs. The dinosaurs have gotten out. Oh no, oh no. Oh wow, look at this huge dinosaur on our left. I'm not a paleontologist, but I do believe this is what we call a Haphosaurus. It's because she doesn't have a bottom half. It's fine, you'll get it on the way home. Now, an important element of all the Jurassic Park films is weather. It always seems like it's raining on the island of Isla Nublar. Now, here in sunny Southern California, whenever we need rain for movies and TV, we gotta make it ourselves using a little bit of movie magic. So we're headed into Old Mexico. I have a couple of friends sitting up in our tech booth. They're gonna give us a weather demonstration today. So focus your attention on the left-hand side of the vehicle because that's where all the action is gonna be taking place. John is gonna position our tram in the perfect spot. And tech team, whenever you are ready with those effects, you can get started. Tech team, I have a couple of first timers on the tram, so let's crank up the water effects to as high as they can go, please. Cue the rain. Beautiful. So what you're seeing happening here, folks, is what we call a practical weather effect. The rain is created by these high-tech, state-of-the-art devices. You may have heard of them before. They're called sprinklers. We place them on the tops of flagpoles throughout this area. It allows the water to fall naturally to the ground, mimicking rain. The thunder that you're hearing all around us, that's what we call a pre-recording or a sound effect. It's just playing off the speakers that we've hidden in the buildings. And the lightning you're seeing flash occasionally, that's just a strobe light that we've installed on the tops of the roof. All right, this looks fantastic. Can we turn off the water, please? Tech team, do you copy? Can we turn off the water? We don't want to cause a flash flood. We're too late, everybody. Hang tight. Or maybe hang tight. Well, you don't see that every day. I do. Every single day. Now, that flash flood may look a little familiar to you if you've seen a movie with Frankie Muniz, Paul Giamatti, and Amanda Bynes called Big Fat Liar.
You can't outrun the wolf, kid! Yeah, we'll see about that. Hang on, funny motion!
Now, this part of Old Mexico that you're seeing on our left-hand side has been featured in films like Nacho Libre with Jack Black, as well as The Three Amigos with Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, and Martin Short. But from Old Mexico into the Old West, we're now crossing the border into 6 Points, one of the oldest parts of our backlot. Now, this is classic westerns you know and love. Recently, though, these sets were taken over by Quentin Tarantino for his film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, and Julia Butters. So this is a scene from the movie War Wagon. You're looking at Kirk Douglas, he's the cowboy in yellow. John Wayne is the cowboy in red. Now, these two actors are not similar in height at all. One of them's actually standing on a box. Try to guess who it is.
Mine hit the ground first. Mine was taller.
So if you guess Kirk Douglas, you are correct. As you can see, he can't leave the scene because he's secretly standing on a box from the waist down. Plus, John Wayne was about 6'4". He was a very tall gentleman. But not all of our cowboys were quite that tall. Audie Murphy was only about 5'6". So some of his leading ladies, no joke, had to walk alongside of him in a trench the filmmakers dug out just so he looked taller than them on screen. But a friendly reminder, we are about halfway through the tour, so if you do drop your phone or just can't wait to use that restroom, pull the right emergency cord, remain seated, and I'll be back there to help you as soon as it is safe to do so. But as we exit the western sets, keep your eyes peeled just up ahead and to the left-hand side. You're going to see a body of water. Now, this is Park Lake. And across Park Lake in those newer looking sound stages labeled in the 30s, this is where they've been filming The Voice on NBC, the singing competition. And new coach Reba McEntire joins them for season 24. The water itself back in the 1970s was the entire Pacific Ocean for a TV series called McHale's Navy. They had little miniature boats floating out there in the water for that show. Back in the 1950s, our Park Lake was transformed into the Amazon River for this film, The Creature from the Black Lagoon. And it sure does look like the Amazon, you know, if it wasn't for the Hollywood Hills in the background of that creature. But Universal is known for the monster movie genre. All those classic black and white horror films like Dracula, Frankenstein, The Wolfman, they all got their big start right here on the Universal backlot, specifically our Little Europe sets. Now, Little Europe can be transformed into any country in the world, and the way that we do it is pretty simple. We just have to change the language on the signs. Now, currently, Little Europe looks a little different, and that's because it's still dressed to look like the afterlife for the hit television show The Good Place, starring Ted Danson and Kristen Bell.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I've never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Okay, well, maybe it's not all that bad.
Yeah, how can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
The Good Places were created by Michael Schur, brought us other TV comedies like Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Parks and Recreation. If you're a fan of The Good Place, coming up on our left, you're going to see the train station that takes you to the bad place. And just across from the train station on our right-hand side, you're going to see a little courtyard area. Think about those classic black and white horror movies I was telling you folks about. Anytime the villagers get together with their pitchforks and torches to go confront the monster, they would always meet on our right-hand side. That is the Court of Miracles. But some of the other countries our little Europe sets have been include Spain. This is where they have the Riding of the Bull sequence for City Slickers. This was also the Vatican City for Angels and Demons, starring Tom Hanks. Miss Piggy and Kermit the Frog at a romantic rendezvous in Paris in 2011's The Muppets. And they can even transform these sets into fictional countries, such as they did for Princess Diaries 2, The Royal Engagement, starring Anne Hathaway and Julie Andrews. We just drove through Genovia. They had that big parade up and down those cobblestone streets. But just a moment ago, I mentioned that Universal's known for the horror movie, and that's because back in the earlier years of Hollywood, each studio in town was kind of known for making a certain genre of film. MGM was known for their big musicals, Warner Brothers was known for their gangster films, and here at Universal we embraced the monster movie. Universal has been thrilling and chilling audiences around the globe for over 100 years. But back in the 1970s, Universal released a horror movie, or rather a creature feature that really changed the genre. Of course, I'm talking about the movie Jaws, directed by Steven Spielberg. And we're headed back to Amity, folks, but not to worry. I've been told they caught the man-eating shark that's been terrorizing the town, so we should be good to go. In fact, there's that shark hanging up on the right-hand side. And it looks like George is out there. That's his boat. George is our new studio tour intern. It's his first week on the job. So let's keep an eye out for George, our intern. There's another shark in the water. Not to worry, everybody. I'm pretty sure George is on his lunch break, so he's nice and safe on. Nope, there he is. Okay, George, get out of the water, please. Hey, can you hear me? Start swimming towards your boat. You're in danger, buddy. George? Good news, everybody. There's now a last-minute opening in the Studio Tour internship program if anyone wants to apply after the tour. Okay, we're going to hang out right over here on this dock. Keep your eyes peeled on the right-hand side. The shark's grabbing that end of the pier. Do you see it? That part of our pier is connected to the gas line underneath. Holy smokes. You know, this might actually work out in our favor. I read somewhere that sharks are terrified of fire. Turns out that's not true. We're gonna need a bigger tree. Does anyone know what kind of shark that is? You shout it out. I can hear you. Anybody? A great white. That's actually super super close, it's plastic. That is a plastic shark. Now, the difference between the shark you just saw and the one that Steven Spielberg used on the set of his movie is that our shark actually works pretty well. His unfortunately had a little trouble on set. Take a look.
That's a much maligned shark. The shark was frustrating. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you could hear the radio waves. They were always saying, the shark is not working. Repeat, the shark is not working.
We just waited around. We just waited and waited and waited.
The shark worked well enough. For a while there, I had the biggest insult mine. So I really owe the shark a lot.
There he is, young Steven Spielberg on the set of his movie Jaws. He's 26 years old in this photo, and he's sitting in the mouth of Bruce, the mechanical shark. Spielberg nicknamed his mechanical shark Bruce after his lawyer, and if you saw Disney and Pixar's Finding Nemo, they named their shark Bruce after the mechanical one that Spielberg used on set. They originally wanted to release this movie around Christmas time, because back in the 1970s, that's when all those big movies came out, was around the holidays. But due to all the issues that they're having on set with the shark, they had to push the release date of Jaws into summer of 1975. But guess what? Jaws became the first summer blockbuster in cinema history. Now, coming up on our right-hand side, you're going to see our chicken ranch. Now, this set was built for a film called The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, starring Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds. LMFAO even party rocked the night away with their music video Sorry for Party Rocking. And Rob Zombie transformed this chicken ranch into a house of 1,000 corpses for his film of the same name. Right now we are actually entering the residential part of our back lot. We have these little neighborhoods on these small streets here and there, and oh my goodness, we'll be checking out one of these neighborhoods in just a few moments. I'm so excited to show you Colonial Street. This is one of the most popular places to film on our back lot, and because of that, it's usually closed to tours, but not today. One of the more recent things to film on this street is a new Eddie Murphy movie streaming on Amazon Prime. It's called Candy Cane Lane, also stars Robin Thede and Jillian Bell. But if you're a fan of the television show Never Have I Ever, like I am, the main character Davy, played by Maitrey Ramakrishnan, lives on this street. In fact, her house is coming up on our left. It's the yellow one with all the brownstone trim at the bottom. But you know, Davy's not the only one to have lived in this yellow house. This house also belonged to Terry Hatcher on the television show Desperate Housewives. That's right, we're currently driving down Wisteria Lane.
If there is one thing everyone in suburbia can appreciate, it's a good neighbor.
What the heck? Let's move back.
Some of the other TV shows that utilize the street for production include the series finale of Superstore with America Ferrera and Ben Feldman, Buffy the Vampire Slayer starring Sarah Michelle Gellar filmed an episode called Hush on the Street. And if anyone's a big fan of the Ted movie, starring where Seth MacFarlane plays a teddy bear alongside Mark Wahlberg, they're making a prequel series set in the 1990s. That's going to be streaming on Peacock next month, so make sure to go check it out. But as I mentioned before, this is one of the most popular places to film on our back lot, so you might recognize it from any of these other projects. Take a look. We are leaving the suburbs behind and we are entering our wilderness area, so keep your eyes peeled for a deer crossing sign and a duck crossing sign. In fact, it's migration season.
At Illumination, we're fortunate to be the stewards of a number of franchises. However, we also have a mission, which is to bring new stories and new characters into the world. Let's fly. In Migration, a family of ducks will embark upon what will become a journey of a lifetime. We meet some funny, silly, likable new characters.
Everything will be all right. Yeah, no, I'm okay. We can do this.
This movie is a reminder that no matter how fearful we might become, there still is a beautiful world out there to experience.
I will survive, keep on surviving.
Just a friendly reminder, we are about 10 minutes away from the end of the studio tour, so if you do drop your phone or just can't wait to use a restroom, pull the red emergency cord, remain seated, and I'll be back there to help you as soon as it is safe to do so. Now we're checking out some more picture cars. Now these picture cars on our right are a little bit different. They've been featured in film and television, but also theme park events, promotional events, and even red carpet premieres. I'm going to point out my favorite car. It's the one kind of in the back. It's that vintage beige looking one. That's from the 1999 cinematic masterpiece, The Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. But you know, it's kind of weird. The parking lot of this motel always has cars like this, but I never see any people walking around. I wonder where they go. Or we're going to check into the Bates Motel next door. Maybe they have some clue as to what's happening to all the guests. It's run by Norman Bates and his mother, a real family business. That's nice. In fact, they live really close to the property, just up on the hill in that brown house. In fact, oh, I think I see Mother sitting in the second-story window. You know, I actually read the reviews of this motel. They're a little mixed. They said management's kind of creepy, but the showers are to die for. Oh. It looks like Norman Bates is home, everybody. You know, he's probably just finishing up with the last guest, and then we'll be on our way. He's acting a little suspicious. Oh my gosh. Look at that. He's carrying out that poor lady to her car. She looks dead tired, am I right? I'm half right. Okay, we're gonna get out of here before he sees us. Hello. We didn't see you do anything weird or murdery. We're just gonna get out of here if that's okay. Nope, he doesn't believe us. John, step on it. John, a little faster. Oh, this is as fast as it goes. Okay. Hi, stop trying to high-five him. He has a knife. Kids are so desensitized these days. I don't know who the bigger psycho is, the guy with the knife or the guy trying to high-five the guy with the knife. Okay, well, as we make our way up the psychopath, you're going to get a killer view of the house coming up on our left. The Bates Motel and the house are from Alfred Hitchcock's classic 1960 thriller Psycho, and they are two of the most iconic sets still standing in all of Hollywood. But from two of the most iconic sets in Hollywood to one of the most elaborate sets ever constructed. Welcome to the spectacular crash site from Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds, starring Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning. The plane that you're seeing on our left-hand side is completely real. That is a real 747 Boeing airplane they had destroyed specifically for the movie. It cost the production about $60,000. Not too bad for an entire airplane, but that's probably because it's an older model of an aircraft. In fact, grown-ups, take a look at some of those armrests as we drive on by. What do you start to notice? There are ashtrays. Kids, fun history lesson. You used to be able to smoke cigarettes on airplanes. That's a true story. Now, it may have cost Paramount $60,000 to purchase, but they did get $1 million just to get it here on flatbed trucks. So that's where they get you, folks. Shipping and handling fees. But let's watch this crash site in action from the scene in War of the Worlds.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around a vision that Steven had.
When we first began to sit down to talk about the War of the Worlds, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep your eyes on me. Listen, listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Get them closed. Robbie, get in. Get in.
These are the sets from War of the Worlds, directed by the man, the legend, Mr. Steven Spielberg. Now, Steven Spielberg is such a prolific director. He's been inspiring a whole new generation of filmmakers, and one of those filmmakers is none other than Jordan Peele. And in just a few moments, we're going to be checking out Jupiter's Claim, the theatrical sets from his newest movie, Nope.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Jupe Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Sheriff. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Well, I do. A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. Looking so live. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of a gold rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center. Welcome to the world of no.
Sets from the movie they filmed out in the Santa Clarita Valley, but once filming was done, brought the sets over to our lot for us to enjoy here at the studio tour. Now, as we exit, I'm so sorry about this, folks. It looks like the security office is calling us right now for some reason. If they're calling the Tram, it's usually an emergency. Hang tight real quick while I take the call. This is Sarah. Is everything okay? What's going on?
This might be more serious than I thought.
Oh, okay, what you said? I lost you.
This is a secure line.
Hello?
Who are you?
Hello?
I'll tell you who I am, boy.
Oh, hello.
I'm the reason bad guys use a nightlight. I'm the reason the boogeyman begs his mama to look under his bed. And I'm the reason you just lost control of this whole operation. My name is Special Agent Luke Hobbs of the U.S. Diplomatic Security Service. And as of 16.9 seconds ago, I'm the man in charge.
Wait,
the hell
what?
you are?
Let me clue you in on two things, sweet cheeks. One, there's a high-value witness from the Federal Protection Program. And two, an international crime syndicate led by Owen Shaw is honing in on this vehicle to take that witness out. Shaw's as ruthless as they come, and he'll stop at nothing to eliminate his target. Every living soul on this vehicle is in serious danger.
Danger?
Other than that, enjoy the ride.
Can you circle back to the danger part? I did so. Hello? Hello? Great, I lost the transmission. Well, we all heard what my new boyfriend said. There's a witness aboard this tram, so we're gonna have to hide it at Sullivan's Truck Repair. This is a known street racer hangout. A reminder to remain seated, arms and legs inside the vehicle, secure any loose belongings, and please, no flash photography. Turn off the flash shot. Our advice is we do not want Owen Shaw to trace our location, and we definitely don't want to stick out. So try to keep a low profile and make sure to blend in. And once again, please, no flash photography. Okay, blend in, everybody.
FBI, don't move. Bill? That's right, party's over.
You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not...
You're under arrest right now.
Ladies, just back up a little bit. I got it. It's lightweight. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. Cop, I suggest you clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Hobbs, escort this novice out. Let's go, Cookie Puss. You got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of tonight.
See what I'm talking about?
Call you back.
Man.
It was on vibrate. Shaw traced us. Ops can't hold him forever. Let
real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door.
Roman, grab your truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
To a better location. Let's put on those 3D glasses. They should double as extra eye protection. Once again, have those 3D glasses on, remain seated. We're going to go through this parking garage. Hopefully, Owen Shaw will find us in here. Or what? Give it up for Supercharge.
Another one.
And if you want to catch up on the Fast and the Furious saga, Universal Pictures Fast X is now available to stream.
Good job, everybody. You protected the witness and you can resume breathing.
You know, it's crazy out there. You guys ride hard. Respect.
You know, my Mona Lisa got messed up a little bit, but it's all good. We got through it. Y'all held us down. Appreciate it.
They say the bigger the family, the stronger it is. You guys get good out there. And you're welcome to join our crew anytime.
Oh, how unbelievable was that, everybody? There was zero traffic on that LA highway. It was pretty unbelievable. But that blockbuster action sequence was the grand finale of our studio tour. Once again, my name is Sarah. I was your tour guide for today, and I hope you enjoyed your exclusive behind-the-scenes look at Hollywood. If you didn't enjoy it, my name is Barb, and you just heard Revenge of the Mummy, the ride. But let's give a big round of applause to John, our driver, for driving us around today, the big deal behind the wheel. Insider tip, make sure to download the Universal Studios Hollywood app to your smartphone for up-to-the-minute show times, wait times for rides like The Secret Life of Pets, Off the Leash, and confirm that the park closes tonight at 9 p.m. Make sure to go check out The Magic of Christmas at Hogwarts Castle. That's a nighttime light show, and The Wizarding World of Harry Potter. The first showing of that is at 6 p.m., and all subsequent times will be listed on our app. If you have a daytime ticket last or you visit us all year long, you can go up to the Universal box office located in our upper lot or any of the upgrade kiosks located throughout the park. But on behalf of John, myself, and everyone here at NBC Universal, we hope you enjoy the rest of your day here at Universal Studios Hollywood, the entertainment capital of LA. Oh, thank you. All right, as we approach the Outland Plaza, folks, please remain seated until the tram comes to a full and complete stop. Gather all your personal belongings, watch those arms, legs, and feet as those tram gates will be opening in just a few. Make sure to toss those 3D glasses in the blue bins in our unloading area. Thanks again for joining us here at the studio tour. As they say in Hollywood, that's a wrap, everybody. All right, watch those arms, legs, and feet as the tram gates open up. Watch your step as you exit the tram. Watch your step. If you forget to watch your step, watch your language. There's children everywhere. But thanks again for joining us here at the studio tour, folks. You've all been outstanding. Now I need you outstanding over there, please.
Top of your heads.